Warning, this video contains strong language. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello, my Hooked honeys, and welcome back to Hooked. If you're new here, my name is Leanne, and Hooked is basically where we talk about some true crime stories and do some crochet projects together. So I already know, I know, this is gonna be like a super late episode, but y'all gotta forgive me, right? I went to Nashville over the weekend. Remember, I told y'all about that last week, and had a ball. I had a ball. It was my first ever girls trip, and of course, we looked amazing. But like, yeah, it was my first girls trip, and I was kind of nervous. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little nervous, but it was so much fun, and I'm so happy I went with the ladies that I went with. It was an amazing time. So we went to this restaurant called Soul, and they had a man that was singing live at the restaurant. Y'all, why he come over to the table and start singing to us? Like we had our own little performance just right in front of us. He was singing his little heart out. It was super cute. Of course, I'm going to add in a clip so y'all can see. It was a lot of fun. Definitely a lot of fun. We also went horseback riding, and that was my first time ever, and I was so scared, but my horse did me good. She did amazing. Her name was Luna. Let's give it up for Luna. Like, I was taking pictures and she wanted to be a picture, like be a part of my picture so bad, so bad. She gave a freaking half smile. She smiled for my picture. Like, girl, you want to be a part so bad. It was cute though. I got to show y'all that too. So, on today's episode, we will be talking about the murder of Eric Hakizimana. Eric was just a young 17-year-old boy who was driving home from soccer practice in Cleveland, Ohio. We will also be crocheting a skirt. I have a vision. I Y'all know how I am when I have a vision. I can't really explain what I'm seeing because I feel like if I try to explain it, you guys are going to be looking at me through the screen like, what is this girl talking about? But I have a vision. So, this is where we are at so far. We got a little bit done. It's going to be one of those longer skirts. So, yeah. I was at work crocheting this, and someone was like, "Are you?" One of my coworkers was like, "Are you making that for yourself?" I was like, "Yeah." And she was like, "It's gonna fit you?" I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Girl, you don't understand. This stuff is stretchy, and so if I make it to my size, it's gonna fall down. Like I need it to fit. I don't need it to be falling down." So yes, like I said, I have a vision, and I think y'all like it, honestly, for real. So this is a bunch of like, I don't feel like counting all that, but I'll put in the description how many rows this is that I started with, but it is half double crochet, and I started with a foundation chain, so it's a little bit more stretchier there for me, and then I did, I think, just 2 rows of regular double crochet in each stitch, and then I started increasing it until it fit my thigh length. So I will count this and then I'll put it in the description, and then I'll also put where we are at the end of the video so that if you guys want, if you like the little finished product, you guys can also always make it as well, right? So we're gonna go ahead and light this crochet candle and get into this story. My candle is getting low, so it's getting harder to light it. May 25th, 2020, 17-year-old Eric was driving home from soccer practice when he approached the stoplight at West 80th Street and Detroit Avenue when his life took a tragic turn for the worse. Eric was shot and killed in a carjacking gone wrong, and the suspect stole Eric's car, and fled the scene. The suspect jumped in the back seat while Eric was at the red light, shot him, kicked his body out of the car, and then proceeded to drive away in his car. Unfortunately, I do honestly feel like Eric was a victim of being in the wrong place at the wrong time because the suspect, who was later identified as Jamal Gaines, was just trying to flee the scene of another murder he had just committed. So, like, right before this happened with Eric, Jamal shot Curtis' leg on his front porch of his own home on 1400 the 1400 block of West 85th Street. Now, I'm not 100% sure of the feud between Jamal and Curtis, but whatever it was, it caused, or Jamal felt as if he needed to go to Curtis's home and shoot him. All I know is that it ended the life of an innocent young boy who was literally just on his way home from soccer practice. I'm sure he was driving normally, not speeding, not doing nothing crazy, and he stopped at this red light, obeying the law, and this guy just jumps into his back seat, shoots him, and drives off. Like what? What? Eric and his family are refugees from their home country of the Democratic Republic Congo. Having fled violence and war there for a refugee camp in Uganda, Eric and his family came to the United States unable to imagine violence would follow them to a streetlight at West 80th and Detroit Avenue with the sudden tragic loss of their son, is what was said at a news conference on July 29th. Eric played the keyboard, drums, and sang in a choir at a church in Cleveland, Ohio. He also attended the Thomas Jefferson International Newcomers Academy. Jamal Gaines was charged with aggravated murder. So when they found Mr. Gaines, he was already serving time. In 2005, he pleaded guilty to domestic violence, aggravated menacing, possessing a gun as a felon, and drug possession. So I was looking into this man, doing my research, and I saw in his long list of charges throughout his life that he had a child endangerment charge. So y'all already know how I feel about the babies. So of course I had to figure out what that was about, right? I don't I don't think you guys are ready for this. So allegedly he was walking down the street with his 6-year-old daughter when he was confronted by police, right? So he took off running. Yep, just took off running, left his baby there and everything. Little 6-year-old little girl just started running away. Like, what is wrong with this man? I couldn't exactly find where he is in prison right now, but I do sure hope, and I sure hope that that man is rotting away, like just rotting his life away in prison. So we are going to go ahead and do a row together. Of course, I'm going to speed it up, but I want to tell you guys exactly how many stitches I have in this row. And this would be the amount of stitches that I um, equaled out to be once I got to the size of my thighs. And I'm just going to keep going down from there. I'm probably not going to do any decreases or anything. So yeah, we're going to go through and do a row together, and I can let you guys exactly how many stitches are in this row. Also, I want to show you guys when you are doing pants, shorts, skirt, anything like that, and you're working in a row, you want to make sure that your seam is straight. So how I do that is I am going into the last stitch of that row, pulling that through. I was chaining two at the beginning of each row, so I'll go into that chain two space. We'll tighten that up. Of course, chain two. So here you would think I would just keep going around. So no, what we're going to do is flip it and go back the other way. And at the end of each row, you're going to do that. And then just go into the very first stitch. So this is where my seam starts. I don't even know if you guys can see that very well. This is not working with me, y'all. See the struggle? But yeah, that's where it kind of starts. And then it's ending, but you guys see how it's in a straight line? If you keep going around and around, your seam will legit end up like curved out. Trial and error, y'all. Trial and error. Trust me, I've been there. So just make sure you change directions every time you come to that chain 2 space. So it ended up being 100 stitches around. I think I counted that pretty good. I hate counting stitches. Let's just go ahead and throw it out there. I absolutely hate counting stitches. It's my least favorite part of crocheting. But yeah, 100 stitches around, and I've made it to row 20. I think I'll do maybe 25 rows, and then I'll get into something else because I'm going to do something. It's going to be a longer skirt, so I'm going to add some spice to it, you know. That was the tragic murder of Eric Hakizimana, a young man who had a lot going for himself, and unfortunately, he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Well, my hooked honeys, if you would like to see the finished product of the skirt I'm making, make sure you follow me on Instagram at HookedWTrueCrime and subscribe because I'll be here for you every Wednesday. Love y'all. Bye.